Hello and welcome back to the ManNerd podcast. This is going to be another episode of Nerd2Nerd. This is where I talk to a nerd every episode. A new nerd, maybe sometimes reoccurring, but we'll see how that goes later. But today, we're going to be talking with Mr. Michael DeMay. He is a player on Last Nerds on Earth, a D&D podcast. Their current campaign is The Five Crystals. Before we get started, what is a nerd? Anyone and anything can be a nerd. Is your cat really a nerd? It can be. Maybe it's into playing basketball. Maybe it's slam dunks and just slam dunks all day. That is not only impressive, but that cat is a total basketball nerd. Doesn't matter what you look like, how old you are, who you have a crush on, or how you identify. Nerds are everywhere. And let's meet a new one right now. Hello, Mike. How's it going?
Hey, Andrew. Glad to be here, man.
Are you really? Of course you are.
Of course. It's always good to talk to you.
Heck yeah you are. All right. So, you are a nerd.
Sure
Of course. Everybody's a nerd. First off, let's jump right into the Five Crystals.
Okay.
So, we've already talked to Jack. We know how the Last Nerds on Earth came about, even about your original podcast idea in that first episode that you guys made. Even a few things that I didn't know about. You play Oliver Blackthorn. Now, why don't you tell me about him? Like, what is his race? What is his class? What does he do? How did you come up with him?
Oliver's a halfling rogue, and in the campaign, he's from Waterdeep. He was, actually a town outside of Waterdeep. He was born to a poor family, and then eventually got in with the Thieves Guild in Waterdeep to earn a little extra cash, and sort of made a life out of it until he was betrayed and eventually found himself with adventuring party 3294.
We're gonna let one little detail kind of slip out there. We're assuming that some people have listened to a little bit of the podcast, at least. We won't let the big stuff go, but there's something about Oliver that was kind of a secret for a long time.
Well,
Do you feel comfortable sharing that and talking about how that really develops the character?
It came out in episode 9, so I'm pretty comfortable talking about it. He is a child. He's 14 years old. He uses illusion magic to disguise himself, and it looks like there's just a shadow cast over his face when his hood is up. So you can never really see his face, and it also disguises his voice, which was fun for me to do. What is fun for me to do.
Yep. We're still playing, by the way, everybody. No big spoilers, but moving on.
I mean, that's way back there, so.
Yeah, it's way back there. We're in season 3 right now, currently recording season 3, so there's a lot that happens.
There sure is. So much that happens. No spoilers.
So the age of Oliver, was that something that you threw in right off the bat, or was that something that you came up with as you went?
That was just a spur of the moment thing. Originally, he was 30, like me at the time. And after the first episode, I was just thinking like there's something missing from him. And I was just sort of tweaking with him and seeing what things could be different. And I was like, okay, all right, what if all that stuff happened like a year ago? All the tragic stuff in his backstory, that was a year ago. So he's still a kid. And that's just sort of where it came up. Then I talked to Jack about it. He's like, sweet, dude, I love it. And then I got to reveal it.
And you surprised us all with it.
Yeah.
I ruined your moment.
Yeah.
We even had a goddamn it. All right. So is there anything from your real life or any kind of inspiration that sparked the creation of Oliver and his background?
Not really. I mean, I just kind of wanted to get creative with a character that I made, and I wanted to do one that, because I normally when I do anything sort of character, D&D, like a video game, anything like that, I'll try to go against my natural choices, where normally I'd be, obviously in Oliver's case, a thief, and maybe when I'm playing Skyrim or something, I want to be a beefy Nord with a big greatsword, just to see how it works out. But I was conflicted with that for a long time. So once Jack brought the idea of the 5 crystals up, I just wanted to go with what I was comfortable with, do what I liked, and that's where Oliver came from. Just a little quick sneaky guy with a goofy attitude.
Yeah, that was a not just a safe choice, that was a fun choice because he turned out to be an awesome character.
Oh yeah, he's definitely by far my favorite D&D character that I've had now.
Oh, we've had so much time with those characters. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
He's a good
Just
boy.
to feel it. He is a good boy. Okay, so now that we know who Oliver is, what's one of your favorite moments from the campaign?
Ooh.
Now, if you're doing a big spoiler, just be very vague about it, or you can be very specific. That's up to you.
I think, and I actually just listened to this, not to like toot my own horn or anything, but I just listened to it the other day when there's a conflict between the party and a black dragon, and we go and retrieve something for him, and one of the party members didn't want to do it, didn't want to give the dragon this item because it would make him incredibly powerful and dangerous, and who knows what he would do with it. And someone else, not naming any names except for the other guy on this podcast, someone else decided that for everyone's safety, like honestly, I was going to do the same thing, but for everyone's safety, we should just hand it over and deal with it later. So that really pissed off our other party member, Aligrax, and we got to have a very cool, very dramatic conversation. And I really, like, at that time, I felt the most like Oliver that I ever had. It was incredible.
And you sounded like the most Oliver. You were like being the cool guy, being on everybody's side, just trying to, fix it. You were talking to everybody separately. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good 2 episodes. End of season 1, by the way.
Yeah, that was a big grudge that he had to hold, but yeah, it was great.
All right, so you might have to be very vague on this one, like extremely vague. If this is what I think you're gonna say. What's your least favorite moment of the campaign?
Oh God.
You could just say unknown tragedy if you want to go with that one.
I didn't like the swamp.
The swamp had good aspects, but it was so long. It felt like we were there forever.
We were there for so long, and it just got so exhausting just to be like, oh, we're still in the fucking swamp. God damn. And as soon as we got out of it, it was great from there. And it's not even that the swamp was bad, it's just that we were there for so long.
Yeah, and that just tells how Jack made that. He made it kind of hard and just last a long time, so we felt it. We felt exhausted. Our characters were supposed to be exhausted. We were emotionally, physically, everything. And one of my favorite moments in the swamp was at the end, right before that issue, when Oliver suggested, let's go hunting. Let's have a nice meal. And that felt great.
Yeah, that was
like
fun.
The calm before the storm.
Yeah, it really was.
Now we're going past Last Nerds on Earth, unless you have another thing you want to say for Last Nerds on Earth to kind of hype it up for the 5 crystals.
Just listen to it, please.
Yeah, listen to it.
It's
Nerds.
It's great. It's a lot. It's been a lot of fun to make, and I mean, as many or as little listeners we have, like it doesn't, like, it's just been a great experience. It's been really fulfilling.
Well, I haven't announced this on the ManNerd podcast yet, but of course people are gonna know that all the unaired episodes of The Last Nerds on Earth, the 5 crystals, will be on the ManNerd podcast. So we will keep going. It's just going to change houses.
Interesting. Okay.
It'll be The Last Nerds on Earth, the lost episodes, even though it's going to keep going.
Part
so,
2-ish.
It's not dead. We're going. We kind of stopped in season 2, but we're going to keep on going. So moving on to you, we're going to get deep, man. What are some of the things that you feel shaped you into the nerd you are today? This can be specific fandoms that you were exposed to, or people in your life, or just simply some interests that you have always had.
Well, that one's easy. Video games. That's always been my fun, my happy place, my escape. It's like, I remember even as a kid, my grandma had a original NES. Like, even though she didn't play it a whole lot, but she had. I was like the 8th grandkid, so
oh man,
yeah. By then, and I had people. There's more younger than me too, so. So she had that, and I played it all the time with her, and I have fond memories of playing that as a kid, like with my grandma, and that's always been cool. And then just growing up, every phase of my life, there's almost been a video game that I could connect it to. Like, oh, I was playing this a whole lot when that happened. Like, it's always been video games. And then as I grew up and sort of expanded on other things, that's when you know, like the superhero stuff. I mean, I've always liked superhero stuff, but that's when I started really getting into it. And, you know, D&D, like I didn't start playing D&D until I was 28. And I mean, the first Comic-Con I went to was with you guys a couple months ago, or a couple years ago.
Yep. So it all built from video games. That, you know, I like what you said about you can connect a certain video game to certain parts of your life. Now, did you have a high school, like, you know, everybody has that part in high school where they feel down and they're like unsure. Did you have that?
Yeah, a little bit, I would say.
All right, name the game.
SSX3.
Oh, crap, you're good.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, happy high school.
That was probably when I was getting more into like the Grand Theft Autos. So I was around like Vice City, San Andreas, around that time.
Okay, this one's just a test. Moving out on your own for the first time.
That one's difficult because I sort of have two versions of moving out on my own for the first time. One being when I was in the Navy, and
yes,
in that time,
so probably no video games there.
Not a whole lot, but a lot of Guitar Hero. I had a lot of friends that had it, and
I remember
like,
those days.
We would set it up like in the ship. We had like TVs and stuff. We would set it up in the like the mess decks and just play it all night. It was a blast. And then once I got out of high school, or not high school, the Navy,
which it probably felt like high school sometimes.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially just that many people crammed together on a boat. That is complete high school. Nothing but drama. But then getting out, it was definitely Skyrim. That's always been like for the last 10 years now. Holy shit. That's been a go-to.
And there's so many mods for that too.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so one other thing. Since you're in the Navy, you're on a ship. You went to other countries quite a bit, correct?
Sure did.
I know this would be hard because it was like, you know, you're there on duty and then you're on leave or whatever. Did you notice any difference in nerdom in other countries?
Not really. Mostly because we had our own little nerd group on my ship. So anywhere that I went, they kind of came with me. That kind of sounded a little conceited. I always went with them. I always had
me because I'm the ruler.
I was always surrounded by fellow nerds. So I mean, seeing other people and maybe finding out that they're into some nerd stuff, that's always kind of cool. That's some people you wouldn't expect. But
you basically, like, you know, marked your territory nerd-wise in other countries.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
Absolutely.
There you go.
If Pokemon Go was out at that time, we would have taken over every gym wherever we were.
Oh man, I wonder what that's like now, being in the Navy with that kind of stuff. Oh man.
Oh, it's got to be way better than when I was in.
All right, we're transitioning here. We're transitioning to the main part. Now, you know what I'm going to talk about. Your life has changed a lot in the last year. Tell us about those changes.
6 months.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah. Okay. It all started when I met a girl.
Aww.
We actually met on Tinder, which ended up being the best thing ever. So, I mean, I'm not ashamed to say that I met someone on Tinder. And anyways,
just one person, so you're good.
Yeah. We started dating, and we were dating for about 3 months or so. And so this was December. Yeah, so just before Christmas, she came up, and she lived about an hour and a half away from me at that time. And she drove up unexpected and told me that she's pregnant. So there's change number one.
Yeah. That's a little change. That's nothing.
It was pretty good. It's been great. And after that, she wanted to buy a house. She wanted to have a good place for us to raise our kid, and she wanted to be in a good place. She didn't want to live an hour and a half away from me. So we started looking at loans, and me being a veteran, I'm eligible for the VA loan, but it's kind of difficult when you're not married to the other person that's applying, because then they sort of aren't covered by it, and it gets really convoluted and difficult. And so we looked at each other, and I mean, it's It's weird to say,
And that
but
can't be the only reason. That can't
no,
be the
it's
only
not.
reason.
It's not. She has absolutely been the greatest thing.
It was the push.
Yeah, that was the push. And so we got married in January, and it's been amazing. And she seriously just lights up my world. I've never, like, I always thought it sounded really cheesy when people say, when you know, you know. But for real, when you know, you know.
When you know, you know.
And so, yeah, we've been happily married now for months. And
months.
We recently also did buy a house, and I'm sitting not even at my desk right now because we're getting new carpet in a brand new house that I live in, and it's been great. So we're
less than a year.
Yeah.
Less than a year. You didn't see that coming.
Married.
When you started Five Crystals, you didn't think that was
Absolutely not. I was not at all planning this.
All right, so now that everybody's like, oh crap, dude, that guy's got it going on. Let's talk about the nerd aspect of this. What are things that you are currently nerding out about when it comes to preparing to be a father?
Well, the house, I was stretched the truth a bit when I said brand new. It is not brand new.
Well, of course, it's brand new to you.
Yeah.
Brand new to you.
So
nobody can build a house nowadays.
It does just needs little projects here and there, and I have definitely been nerding out on those. Like, I'll go out and work a full work day and then come home and work on more stuff because I just want to do it. It's my house. I want to get my house go, like, working up to par, and it's just something I can really be proud of.
Oh yeah. Are you going to paint the rooms? That's always the best and worst part. Doing it sucks, but then having it done is like, oh my god, it is mine. It's like your customization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're my mother-in-law actually painted the baby room.
Aww.
And that's looking pretty good. She's got to do 2 of the other walls still, but yeah, it's looking really good. And then it's a 3-bedroom. We have baby's room, our room, and then a little office, and we're gonna paint those as well. We just want to rip up the carpet and then do it like a day or 2 before we get the new carpet.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, new floors, new carpet is always way better. It makes things look so much better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. All right, so since you're preparing for your child, what are a few things that you are most excited about when your child comes into this world?
Oh man, just having a kid, first of all, that's gonna blow my mind. I've been waiting so long. I've always wanted to be a dad. I've been waiting for the right person, and it all just happened so fast. It's insane. And being able to do nerd stuff with him, I'm actually gonna I already talked to my wife about this, and she's not big on role-playing games and stuff. Like, she said she played a little Pathfinder, but that's about it. But I'm gonna write a campaign for our son, and I'm gonna DM it, and then the 2 of them are gonna play together, and I think that's gonna be a blast. I just want to raise him a nerd. And I mean, if he doesn't like it, that's fine too. I'm gonna be happy with however he turns out.
Yeah, and you know what? What class would you push, or would you just say pick whatever you want? Pick whatever you want.
I think I would leave it up to him. That's a big choice, and you don't want outside influence with that. That's something you have to make within.
It is a big choice. But if you wanted him to be a class, what would it be?
I mean, probably a ranger like his dad.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that made my heart skip. Moving on. So, with, of course, all the huge life changes that you've had within a year, what are the things that you want to keep in your life as things rapidly change and your priorities change? Like, what are the nerd things that you really want to push to keep in your life, even though you might not have as much time as you did before? What are those things?
Okay, gotcha. D&D, absolutely. Cannot mess around with the TFC schedule.
Yeah, we need to keep going with this for sure.
Yeah, that's not stopping. That's gonna keep on rolling. And then, I mean, other than that, as long as I get some video game time, I'll be happy.
Yeah, there you go. A little bit here and there.
Yep.
You won't have as much time for it, but it'll be awesome when you do.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna wind down a little bit here. What is any advice that you have for soon-to-be young fathers and mothers out there that you have learned recently?
It goes by a lot faster than you think. Like, it feels like the other day she told me that she's pregnant, and it's been over 6 months now. So
It's been so long.
yeah, we're
It
more
is
than
crazy.
halfway there, and
It felt like just yesterday when you told us.
I know. It's blowing my mind how fast it's going, and I can't imagine how fast it's gonna go when I have a kid. And I just can't wait to see him grow up and see the person he becomes.
Or how slow certain days will be.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll happen too. All right, so any last words, for anybody, nerd-wise, soon to be father-wise, husband-wise, what do you got?
Just do what makes you happy. And if you can't find it, just keep looking. Do what you have to do for the time being, but keep looking and find what makes you happy. And I promise you will
play
find
D&D.
it. Yeah, play some D&D. So that's some quality time with good friends right there. You can never go wrong with some D&D.
It would be nice when we can all do it in the same room again.
Oh, that'd be
which
amazing.
Is coming. Like, I'm good to go. Like, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Very nice.
Okay. Now, this is the end. This is where I have a outro challenge with everybody. So I'm going to start the outro music. And everybody usually goes first, so I'll just throw mine out there first, and then you go, and we're gonna see who's is better, who's we think is better. Just a one-liner.
Okay.
Now, this is gonna be a little different than normal. I usually leave it pretty open, but this is gonna be dad joke edition. So think of a bad dad joke and turn it into an outro. Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Just want to let you know I ordered a chicken and an egg from Amazon. I'll let you know next time on Nerd2Nerd.
Just remember, if you're a scuba diver, don't dive in head first, because then you just fall into the boat.
That was so bad. I love it. All right. We'll see you later, Mike. We'll have you back on, and who knows, maybe another show where we're doing some cool nerd shit together.
Sounds good, man. I'll see you on the D&D table.
See you on the D&D table.